Hi guys.
Hello.
Happy Sunday. So we're doing, which way are you going? Over. So we're having another little Sunday night conversation, and tonight we are talking about the science of getting rich. Hi Debbie. So if anybody wants to share this, like, love it. Hi Dee. Hi, Leslie. So, you know, we're huge fans of the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Hi, Gina, Gerardo, Justin, what's up, brother? Hi, Amy. Great to see everybody coming on here. Again, like or love the video. Say hi and where you're coming in from. Feel free to share this either on your own page or in a group. So we love this book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And we were listening to it basically all weekend, and we were listening to it on our drive home from our family this weekend, and we were realizing that the principles that this book teaches you on how to get rich is how to get rich in life, but also within your relationships, and it can be applied. So just want to say hi, Rhiannon, how are you? Florence, Erica, great to see everybody coming on here. So now, I'm going to say exactly what the book says, and it's the truth. If you guys apply these things that we're going to go over with you, you will see a change in your life. Financially, relationship-wise, these things that we're going to go over with you tonight, there's a proven science that if applied, they will change your life, right?
It's true.
It's true. So we're going to give like both of our opinions or feelings on these things. What's up, Krauf? Justin, what's up? Jen. So number one, and there's a bunch here, but we're going to go through them. Number one is thoughts and actions create success. Thoughts and actions create success. Go.
All right. So if anyone on here, and if you have already read the book, if you can just type a Y in the chat box, that would be awesome. Again, the book is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And what Scott just said, which again is thoughts and actions create success. What you think about consistently and what you start to take action on creates your success. I mean, it's again, like, you can't explain it more simple than that, but you know, what you think about on a day-to-day basis. And I think it was really cool because Scott and I were like, well, what are we going to talk about tonight? And we've been listening to The Science of Getting Rich just for the purpose of, you know, listening and really setting goals. And it's like, well, why can't we apply it in a relationship as well? You know, why can't I think in my mind, you know, I want to have a great, healthy, wonderful relationship, and I want someone who supports me, and I want someone, you know, to be on my team, and I want these things, and that's what I'm going to consistently think about. So why can't it be applied in relationships?
Thoughts without thoughts, like, so I want you guys to think about, like, I'm going to use a very, very basic story. I just want to say hi to everybody that's coming on here. Say hi and where you're coming in from. Shannon jumped on, Jessica, Lori, Robin, Jay, Rich. Great to see everybody on here. Say hi and where you're coming in from. So think about this. And this is, I don't know why this popped into my head. So think about when you're going through high school and you're getting ready to apply for college. So you start thinking about the college that you want to go to. So for me, it was a bunch of different colleges, but I started off at Pittsburgh, so I'm going to use that as an example. So I thought about, hey, University of Pittsburgh looks like a great school. So I thought about it. So now I had to take action. So the action from the thought is filling out the application to apply to go to that school. So then what happens? The school gets the application, they read it over, and they say, you know what? We're going to send you a letter back. Congratulations, you have now been accepted. So in theory, I manifested myself getting into the University of Pittsburgh with the initial thought of applying to that school. If that all makes sense, please type Y or yes in the chat box, because thoughts and actions create success. Now, I didn't have that much success at Pittsburgh. I came away with a lot of great friends. But again, like, the thought of anything leads to actions, and actions are the ones that lead to success. This can be the same thing in a relationship. If you think someone is attractive, you know, we met on Bumble. So I thought about swiping right. Hopefully she would swipe right. She thought the same thing. She swiped right. Then she connected with me. And then the thought is, you know what? Let's go out and see if there's a connection. And here we are now. So thoughts lead to actions, which lead to obviously success. And it leads to motivation. So Richard's right. So that motivates you to continue to do other things. So that's number one. So number two, and I love this one. Create, not compete. Go.
Okay. So what that makes me think about is, how many times have you seen people, or, you know, maybe you've done it yourself, but you've seen other people in relationships and they look so incredibly perfect, and it looks like this little fairy tale cookie cutter romance. And you think to yourself, you know, well, I want that. And, you know, I wish he would take me out, and I wish he would do these things. Well, why don't you work on your own relationship and create that with your own relationship? Maybe, and again, you know, you're seeing surface things. You don't know how people are behind closed doors. But instead of competing with other people and other couples and other relationships, why don't you take some of those key things that you really like, or you might be feeling a little, you know, competitive about, and why don't you create it in your own relationship? So for that, again, like Scott said, create, not compete.
No, that got me thinking, like what you said about, like, think about how many people on social media as couples post about, like, they're doing videos and they're posting and to
like us.
No. In the sense where you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know if they're actually happy or they're saying, just smile really quickly.
That's like HGTV, like the couple, the real estate couple who they look so incredibly happy. And then I found out, I mean, I'm so behind the ball with this stuff, but like I found out they got a divorce and it was so awful. And it's like, what the heck, you know?
So just, you have to take everything that you see, especially on social media, with a grain of salt, because you know, people live behind filters now. They live behind having the prettiest picture that gets rid of every wrinkle in their head. So they literally,
yeah,
they end up like, I mean, it's just funny, like, not like haha funny, but that's what people live behind. So on the business side of things and in life, if you're constantly comparing yourselves to everyone else and you're competing, I want to beat this person, I want to beat that person, that's taking all of your energy off of the creations that you can be coming up with. So don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Don't focus on what the person on the left or the right of you is doing. Put your blinders on and just go and create, and you are going to impact and help people along that way.
Yeah, and it's like, again, like, you know, create, not compete, but like, you know, it's not time to get passive aggressive and say, well, Scott takes me here, you know, or someone, you know, does this or someone does that. I mean, take, you know, maybe learn a couple things or take away a couple things, but definitely create that wonderful relationship. So what's the next one? Scott?
I'm saving this for last.
Okay.
That's last. Okay. So number 3, this is big. To thy own self be true. Yes. Chip and Joanna are the best on HGTV.
They're so cute. Yeah, that would break my heart if they like broke up. I think they just had a baby.
Hi, Ash, Dennis, Kelly, Tom. Just wanted to say hi, everyone that came on. And again, like or love it. Please comment, say hi where you're coming in from. Feel free to share this. All right, so the next one is guard your thoughts from negativity. Guard your thoughts from negativity. And Amy says, stay focused on yourself. It's not selfish. It's the only way to do it. Absolutely. Linda says, people always present their best side, but we do not see that anybody with the best side has to, and they do have to work on it. That's wonderful. So again, guard your thoughts from negativity. Go.
All right. So good example of this. Let's say you have a good relationship. You come home, you know, you feel supported, things are great. And maybe you have that one friend, or you might have a family member, or you might have someone kind of in your ear saying, oh, you know, you should have this or you should have that. And basically kind of like making you feel unsure about your relationship or situations. Being negative, you know, honestly, surrounding yourself with people who bring you down, it stresses you out, which can also cause rockiness in your relationship. So for that one, guard your thoughts from negativity. You know, you don't want to bring that in your relationship. The other thing I want to throw in there is, in your relationship, if there's a lot of negativity happening, okay? And we don't want to like sugarcoat that, because if you're in a relationship with someone who is consistently negative and you feel like, oh, that person's coming home, or, you know, oh man, I got to drive home and the best part of my life is my car ride home and I don't have to be bothered by that person, you know? So it's like, that's a whole nother issue. But you should be able to live your life in a way that you don't have to feel like you've constantly got to, you know, get away from negativity. So,
well, there was two things that came up for me. Number one, as far as business goes, if you're building a network marketing business or you have your own brand, you know, you do need to guard your thoughts from negativity. If you ever start, it's something that Mel Robbins talks about. She says if we all had external microphones on all of the nasty, bad things that we say about ourselves and everyone can hear it, everybody would be running for the hills. So like you have to do your best, and it takes practice. It's really easy to slip into those moments where we start talking negatively about ourselves. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm poor, I can't do this, I can't succeed, I'm not good, people don't like me, you know, whatever those things are. If you start to, yeah, that means it's time to go. You're right. If that starts to influence every aspect of your life. Yeah. Hi, Laura, Mark, hi, Kayla, good to see you on here. So again, those thoughts, negative thoughts, negatively impact in every way and shape of your life. So, all right, I'm not going to get controversial, but just I'm not going to give my opinion. So there's the one big negative thing that I constantly see and hear is about government. It's big. There's politics. There's a lot of negativity surrounding politics. And in this book that was written in 1902, he actually stated that no matter who is in or who is not in office, be grateful that there is some sort of someone in office, because if there wasn't, the country would be running amok. There would be no, so as much as how we feel about politics, and we always want to give our opinions, make sure that there is some sort of positive attribute behind it. Because the fact of the matter is, if you stir that pot of negativity in any way, shape, or form, it actually starts to push people away that don't have time for negativity in any aspect, whether it's politics or not politics, right?
Yeah, no, they say like it swings in a pendulum anyway. You know, like we always, you know, we go one way, we get all like jazzed up about this, and then we go in another way, and it's literally how like history has always been. And I just thought it was really funny because we were listening to it again, and again, it just says be grateful that we even have this structure in place, because you still have the ability to have all these abundance,
we have freedom right now,
wonderfulness, and everything, and we still have all the potential to do amazing things.
Hashtag worry about yourself, right?
Just stay in your lane.
Yeah, worry about you. Just focus on you and your family and your loved ones. Juliana, good to see you on here. Tiffany, welcome. Okay, all right, we got about 5 left. Okay, this is so true.
Okay.
This is so true that everyone, so right here, this one thing right here, if you actually believe what I'm about to show you and truly believe it, not just say, I believe, believe it, will it, pray on it, and everything that needs to happen, this will happen. And this is the truth. Abundance is limitless. Abundance is limitless. Go.
Oh boy. Okay. So when we are talking about money and when we are talking about love, And when we are talking about just, you know, wonderfulness of life, it's limitless. This world was created, and this book does an awesome job just reminding me, especially, you know, no matter what I'm feeling, it's an amazing reminder that there's so much good out there, no matter what you see or experience on a day-to-day basis. And I'm just going to say, I mean, life can be so incredibly easy and wonderful, and then there can be things in life that can be so incredibly hard and awful and terrible and earth-shattering. But at the end of the day, there is unlimited goodness, and like I said, unlimited love. So like we said, abundance is limitless, and the love that you have in your relationship and the respect that you have for each other and all of that is limitless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
you can love as much as you want to love.
Yeah, and you can like have different levels of love. Like, right. I believe, you know, some people are like, oh, do you believe that you can fall in and out of love and blah, blah, blah. I just like, and I thought about this today. I actually didn't mention anything to you, but like today we played tennis and it was just so much fun. And for two reasons. One, because I was sitting there studying for a test that I'm going to take, and I was just thinking in my head, like, oh man, I really want to go play tennis, or I want to get outside. Like, I just want to get out. And he was like, oh, let's go play tennis. And I was like, oh, like, yes. And so we went and played tennis, and here we are. And I am sucking, like, so bad.
I crushed her.
And I'm, like, running around. I mean, it's not even, like, competition. It's just literally cardio for all of us, you know, both of us involved at this point. And I was just thinking there, like, as we were, like, running around like crazy, and I was just like, you know what? I love him so much. And it's just kind of like, you know, I felt like this another, like, layer, like, slap it on of just like, wow, you know, it's just so great. So definitely abundance and love, I think, is limitless. You know, the highs and the lows, but it's definitely out there.
So with the whole abundance is limitless, that for me comes back to your thoughts that lead to actions. So if you don't have abundant thoughts, they're not going to lead to abundant actions. So if you have non-prosperous thoughts, if you have broke thoughts that lead to broke actions, like living paycheck to paycheck or whatever the case may be. So once you believe truly that abundance is limitless, you start having those abundant thoughts, which lead to the abundant actions, which lead to everything in your life becoming abundant. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. You said you got a good guy. So abundance is literally, they say it all the time, it's in the eye of the beholder. It's the truth. If you truly, in your heart, in your soul, in your gut, if you truly believe that abundance is limitless, it will happen for you.
So
Jackie says, you two are so stinking cute. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Okay, so we're almost done. So this one, I believe, like, so everyone says about, I'm going to give it 120%. So just to let you know, 100% is the most that you can give, because that's the most. But there's a point to that. So you always, no matter what you're doing, do things to the fullest potential. Meaning, don't half-ass anything. Go.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I
was like, I want my paper. So do things to the fullest potential. I mean, I think that one's self-explanatory. I think in your relationship, when people start to get stagnant and they stop appreciating each other, and they stop paying attention, and they stop communicating, and they're just like watching TV and they're in their routine, that's not the fullest potential, okay? Again, I love to hold up the props, but stop it. If you're falling into that routine, and whether you have kids or whether you don't have kids, or whether you've been in a relationship for a month, a year, 10 years, 30 years, right? We've got some people that have been in relationships for like longer than that. So right. The thing is do it to the fullest potential. You know, you made a decision to be with this person, you know, whether it's for life or whether you're dating or whatever. And it's like,
who would want to be with someone that's only giving it half of their love?
Yeah. And it's like, here's the thing, like, it actually...
Right. Richard said it's all or nothing. It's so true.
Well, and here's the thing, like, a lot of people, some people like can be selfish and just kind of think more about themselves. Some people can, you know, like I said, just fall into routine and stop paying attention to what's going on with the other person. I mean, it happens a lot. Like, right, we get stuck in our day-to-day. We get stressed out by work. We just get so consumed by other things that we stop thinking about other people.
Carol says, raised my children with that philosophy, 100% or nothing. So did my mom. Carol, you're amazing.
Yeah, and it's like, I was actually reading something the other day, and they said humans, okay, and like it was just some crazy biological thing where it's like humans, if you look at like how we are structurally and physically and whatever, it almost looks as if we were just an animal just running around. We wouldn't be monogamous, right? We wouldn't have like a permanent life partner.
Tom Bilyeu.
Tom Bilyeu, yes. So impact theory. The way that you set it up and the way that you look at it, right, we're just kind of animals. We'd probably be running around like crazy. But one thing that is proven that as humans, right, we have a need to grow and to build and gain knowledge and really, I mean, grow and become, you know, more. And we do things, and it has been proven that we do things better together, right? It's better when we team up, we pair up, and we're able to be like this cohesive unit that helps support each other and get through life. And, you know, it's just, whenever you think of things this way, right, and you decide to be in this relationship, I think it's so much fun to look at it and say, well, if we're going to do it, let's freaking do it, you know? Let's do it, and let's be awesome at it, and let's take away all the crazy crap, the negativity, the drama, and let's just talk to each other like adults, right? If I have an issue, I can bring it up to you.
So it's by Kate, what does what mean? Just repeat what we said. And Carol, it's from impact theory. Actually, it's impact relationship theory, right? Was that?
Yeah, it was like a relationship episode.
So Tom Bilyeu, Tombilou, and his wife Lisa Bilyeu, Bilou, Bilou.
Yeah.
They have actually a Facebook page. I'll message you, Carol, but it's called Relationship Impact Theory. He also has a YouTube channel called Impact Theory. And a podcast called Impact Theory. Amy says, subscribe to them. Oh yeah, follow them when they do their videos. They're amazing. Amy, like, you're totally right.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, in any relationship, like, I just don't feel anyone should ever settle. I mean, again, there are times in every relationship where one person may have to pull the other person a little more. They might be going through something. They might be feeling something a little bit more. But I think it was actually Richard on one of our other lives said, no, both people give 100%. Like, both. Like, there's no 80-20, 70-30. It's 100% from both people. You want to be with someone that is giving their all, giving their heart, giving their life for that other person. Because, you know, Nancy said it, like, together is better. And there's a great book by Simon Sinek that he talks about this. And his book is called Together is Better. And it's the truth, because we are not meant to go through life alone. Now, the other thing is this. Everyone finds that other person or that aspect of their life changes at different ages. Some people, they meet that person in high school and they are together for the rest of their life. I met Nancy when I was 38 through multiple long-term relationships, and Nancy was in multiple long-term relationships, and she was 32 when we met. So you don't know when it's going to happen, but don't ever settle. Whether you have kids with that person or not, that is not a reason to stay. You act like you end up hurting the entire family, because your family deserves to see the best of you. And if you're not happy, and if you feel that, talk it out. And if it can't be worked out, find a compromise, because life is meant to be lived and loved to the fullest.
Yeah, and I'm just going to throw it in there, because, I mean, obviously I've had my ups and downs, and, you know, Scott has as well. And, like, you know, this is just one thing, like, thinking that it's okay to be vulnerable in a relationship and like know you might need to work on things.
Yeah.
And I think the longer you've been with someone, that, you know, people grow at different rates. You know, there are people who skyrocket and they're like, oh, you know, learning all different things. And the other person kind of always stayed the same and is wondering why now they're like left in the dust. So it's okay to think about counseling or think about seeing someone, a neutral party, to maybe talk some things out with you guys and get you on the same page.
Yeah.
And we're not saying it as like a reactive thing, but sometimes it's a good thing, even when things are good.
I still go to a therapist. Like,
yeah,
and things are great, but like you still need that neutral party. Like there's always something to be. Whenever you think everything has been worked out, you're wrong. Like there is no peak to the mountaintop. You always want to grow. You always want to improve.
Yeah, and there's things like, I mean, again, like this stuff doesn't have to hit the fan, you know, for you to actually take action. I mean, it's okay to go counseling beforehand to kind of get ahead of maybe some things that you're kind of questioning or you're not sure of, or, you know, again, you've been in a long-term relationship or, you know, a relationship that you really want to work and you just want to make sure you're on the same page. So almost think about like a calibration, you know, session.
Yeah.
But it's okay. And like, honestly, for anybody who's like, oh, well, I would never do that, or I'd never go to counseling, or I'm not going to, you know, we're not broken, there's nothing to fix. And it's like, you know what? Like, you want a relationship that you're going to feel good about. And you want to, like, you know, have something that you feel solid and you can work towards. So
any great relationship has always had their bad times.
Yeah.
There's never been a great relationship where it's been great all the time. There's always been something, like every relationship. Amy says, never settle for less than you and the kids. If you have them, I have 4, deserve the best first. And Carol says, such a great live, real stuff going on here. You're right. Hi, Bill, Kelly, Casey, Jacob, welcome. Say hi and where you're coming in from. Like or love the video. Please share this so it could benefit anyone else. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, you don't, again, what Nancy says, you don't have to wait for things to be broken to fix them. But in every relationship, there are going to be dark times. There are going to be light times. Think about the vows that you take with your loved one, in good times and bad, in sickness and in health. You know, there are people, if we stop and think right now, there are definitely people that we know that are in relationships where their loved one, their partner is sick right now. They're going through something. Whether it's a father, a mother, a husband, a wife, a child, a relative. And it's those things that need to be worked through. You don't say, well, that's it, you're sick, I guess we're done. You work through it. Relationships are work. And the thing is, I don't see them as work anymore. I see it as those are the times where you grow and you grow stronger, because when you come out of whatever that thing is, it just creates another level of strength of the bond that you have with that person, because you can look back on that thing that you went through and you worked through together.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's like, it's so incredibly true. And
this
you never know like what people are going through and like what goes on. What's that?
This is a perfect lead in. So,
oh yeah.
So this is actually a perfect lead in right here. And this is so true. Do not worry about how you will overcome the obstacles, the how-tos, the figuring it out, to try to figure it out, so you never end up figuring it out. So, go.
Right, for that one, I'm trying to think of, you know, how that makes you feel, because don't worry about how you will overcome obstacles. I mean, I think when we worry so much or we create stories of things that haven't even happened yet, you know, I have anxiety sometimes where I start worrying about things
that aren't
even frustration.
Which leads to
upset.
Anxiety.
Yeah, more anxiety, stress.
And then you're on this merry-go-round of just gook.
And it's like, if you think about that, you apply that to a relationship, worrying about all these other things that can happen, think about how detrimental that can be. You know, like, oh, you know, what if Scott's this, or what if, you know, that, and blah, blah, blah. Like, what good is that going to do for me? You know, instead, focus your attention on the good that's happening, and maybe some things that you might need to tweak here and there. But I think it applies across the board, you know, not just relationships, but day to day and in life. You know, they say to help with anxiety and whenever you're feeling all discombobulated, live in the present, live in the now. Scott and I talked about it a few months ago, but it's so incredibly important in relationships to focus on observation and not expectations.
Love that.
Okay. So
say it one more time.
Okay. So focus on the observations and not the expectations. And I'm going to give an example. And the first thing that comes to mind is, you know, think about a married couple where one of them stays at home and, you know, maybe has an at-home business and then the other one works all day. You know, let's do two scenarios where the first is, you know, this person who's working away from home in their mind, they're driving home on the way and they're like, oh yeah, dinner's going to be prepared. The kid's going to be at the table. I'm going to be able to take off my shoes and my jacket and I'll be good to go and everything's awesome. That's the expectation, right? They get home, they find the kid running around, you know, with a full diaper and, you know, whoever is the parent is at home on the phone trying to handle something. No dinner has even been prepped and you got to throw together grilled cheese, you know, and get the kid wrangled. So that's situation A, you know, that person's probably a lot more frustrated and that's going to start to build up when you keep having these expectations and you come in and you're like, what the heck?
WTF.
What the heck every day? Now let's look at it on the flip side. If someone comes home, okay, and they practice observation, then, you know, expectation. So boom, they're driving home and they're like, yeah, it was a great day at work. I'm going to come home and we'll see what we got to do. You know, life is good. So they come in the front door, same situation, but they have no preconceived, you know, things in their mind. So when they walk through the door, it's kind of like, all right, what do we need to do? What do we need to tackle instead of letting that expectation go crazy? You know, it's absolutely fine too to talk to your partner and say, hey, you know, let's call and coordinate and we'll see what's going on for dinner. And, you know, if you're not able to cook it by 5, I'll pick up some pizza for us or something. But again, it's observation before expectation is another one of those things. Yeah.
My expectations will always lead to my disappointments. I want you guys to write that down. My expectations will lead to my disappointments. And Linda says, I believe we have everything we need within to succeed. History shows we have survived and overcome so much that the past experience empowers us to overcome anything the future throws at us. Wow. Well, that's, I mean, you're literally reading our minds and what we're about to talk about. So I want you guys to write down, my expectations lead to my disappointments. And I want you to take that, I want you to stick it on your mirror, okay? I want you to take a picture of it and I want you to send it to me. Post it on my wall. You can tag me in it or send me a private message with that, because that's going to be a reminder to you every single day not to set expectations that are only going to disappoint you. So when you can live, just like Nancy said, in the present time, you're going to enjoy life that much more. Take things as they happen, because you can't control a thing, nothing. You can't control anything about life, but the only thing you can control is how you respond and react emotionally to the things that happened in your day. And Betsy wrote, my expectations will lead to my disappointments. Exactly. When you have no expectations, you just live in abundance, because it's the truth, because everything becomes a victory. Okay, so we have 2 more things left. And this is basically piggybacking right off of what Linda wrote. So, and this is so true. And we were talking about this one for a while. Okay, that's a lot. When life knocks you around, it's getting you back on your path, meaning you didn't ask for something big enough. When life knocks you around, it's getting you back on your path because you didn't ask for something big enough. So one more time, Amy. My expectations will lead to my disappointments. Write it down, stick it on the mirror in your bathroom, take a picture of it, tag me in a post tomorrow at some point today with that, or send it to me in a private message for accountability. Go.
All right. I'm going to read it again. Okay. So when life knocks you around, it's getting you back on your path. So how many of you have experienced situations, things in your life things that have literally, it's been like a stick in the spoke of your tire.
Why, or yes in the chat box.
You know, has felt like, man, why is this happening? You know, and it's like you feel like, well, crap, you know? And we were just talking about this too. It could be anything, right? It could be a horrible thing. It could be like losing someone. It could be a sickness. It could be something that literally just like, you know, punches you in the face. Could be something like you just didn't even see coming, right? When that happens, a lot of times, and this is why I love this book so much because it's so applicable to things, a lot of times life is kind of knocking you around on purpose to open your eyes, to say, hey, stop what you're doing, stop the, you know, autopilot, get back on track. You need to appreciate and you need to really focus on these things in your life. I can't tell you how many horrible things have happened to me and people who I have lost, and how it has knocked me down to my knees. I mean, to the point of where it's like, all right, what else? You know, like, is there anything else? And it has made me change my perspective on life and how I live my life and how I interact with people and how I treat every single person and how I want to leave them because of things that have happened to me. And as horrible and as terrible as it can be, things I totally believe happen for a reason, and they help you along your path to be a bigger, better person, and kind of help you in your journey. And in relationships, I thoroughly believe things happen, you know, whether it's, you know, we think about the main pillars that usually affect relationships. You know, one is financial, you know, one is, you know, a lot of times, I guess, like, what are other relationship issues in marriages?
Yeah, I mean, time away, you know, people stray, there's lack of communication.
Yeah, like trustworthiness.
Get busy with family and kids and life.
Yeah, like all kinds of stuff. So it's like sometimes things happen to kind of get you back, like, boom, you know, focus, get back on track. And a lot of times we're, you know, sometimes off in other directions, and it kind of really brings you back together. And, you know, something that happened to, you know, a family member of mine actually got extremely sick, and, you know, the relationship was fine between the two people, but that sickness made them realize, like, holy shit, we could lose each other, and not be in a relationship. And, you know, like, this is crazy. So it really made the people appreciate that a lot more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, Richard says it takes us out of our comfort zone to line us back on the right track again. Absolutely. Hi, Michelle. Amy says, but they make you stronger. Absolutely. So here's the thing, you know, life is not perfect. You know, we hear about this all the time, that life is perfectly imperfect. But, you know, what I'll say to you guys, the example I want to use here is when you get that unexpected letter from the IRS that you owe taxes, or your loved one gets sick, or you max out a credit card, or you bounce a check, or you're negative in your account. All of those things are the universe's way of saying, hey, hey, like, wake up, hey, you didn't ask for something big enough. And it's so true. Sometimes the worst things that happen to us, I mean, think about it. Until that thing happened to us, you're just going through life blindly and just completely numb to the core. And then that thing happens, and you're like just literally just so shaken that, like, life seems like it's been turned upside down when it hasn't. Life has been there the entire time. You've just been going through it so unconsciously that this one thing that was probably there the whole time, you just didn't see it coming, makes it feel like your world has been flipped upside down. So this is going to lead us into the last thing, and we're going to wrap up with this. And it is so true, Amy. Kerry says, hi, Scott. I have a good day. I watch your videos all the time, and you're a very high person to me. I appreciate everything you do online. Thank you, Kerry. I appreciate that. My mom and dad always told us kids that pain was a sign that things had to change. I love that. Betsy says, yes. Remember that conversation we had February 1st, lost the contest, and it was because I wasn't thinking big enough. Okay, so above all of that, everything that we just went over, it all comes down to this one thing. This one thing. It all comes down to this. Without this, none of that is going to happen. None of that is going to change. None of our lives are going to change. Now, here it is. Well, Amy just asked, how do you put yourself out there
how you put yourself out there is what comes to you.
Yeah. How you put yourself out there is what comes to you. Exactly. Jim. All right, so here we go. This is the last thing. This makes everything else happen.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gratitude. Above all else, your life will not change unless it is lived, breathed, loved with gratitude. Go.
Oh man, that's just it. Wow. Yeah, gratitude is amazing. You know, with things that have happened to me, I take times whenever I feel like I'm cruising along, you know, like I'm just driving in my car and I'm just cruising along and everything is so good, you know, whether it's in my relationship or whether it's in business or whether it's in things that I'm doing. And lately I've been making it a point that whenever I feel that comfortableness, I have to stop and I have to just realize how grateful that I am for everything. And I can only tell you that whenever you practice being grateful, it makes everything so much easier and so much better. You know, whether it's your relationship or any tough issues that come your way, whenever you have a grateful mindset and just being grateful for the things in your life, you realize that the big stuff and the small stuff and everything that comes out you is really not that bad. I think about it every day, you know, if I start to get frustrated with, you know, maybe I want more in my business or I want more money or I want more something, I stop and I go, are you kidding me? You know, I'm so stinking grateful that I'm not working, you know, 60+ hour work weeks that I don't want to work and I don't want to do the things that, you know, I did before. And my life is so amazing now. So,
well, Amy's saying gratitude is the best attitude. That's what you're thinking about. Gratitude is the best attitude. That's the quote.
Yeah, gratitude is the best attitude. I love it. But yeah, but no, just think about that. You know, whenever things are hard and tough and whatever, just, you know, practice gratitude when things are great and amazing and you know, just awesome. Practice gratitude. And in a relationship, practice gratitude for each other.
Yeah.
Because when you start to feel mundane in your relationship, or maybe when things start to get whatever, there's things that you still, I'm sure, can be grateful for. And tell that person, because it makes a big difference.
Yeah, and Linda says, whether you focus on the bad or the good, you spend the same energy. The end result, though, is the one that crushes you and the other lifts you up. So true. So, you know, I used to, I mean, I still pray every single day, but I used to pray every night before I went to sleep. And in the book, it says, God doesn't require you to pray to him or her every night. When you live your life with gratitude and when you're a good person and when you're doing things for others, those actions are the only things that God needs to see you doing. God gives you and appreciates everything that you do that you end up doing for others. So when you practice gratitude, you practice being thankful and appreciative and just being a good person. That's what God wants. He wants us all to flourish and to be abundant and prosperous and wealthy and live such a great life. God, whatever God you pray to, God is around us all the time. And those times when you're feeling so grateful and so thankful, that's what we require to do, is just, you know, there's times we'll be driving and she'll be like, what are you grateful for right now? And we'll just say, and it's something that I practice with my son. We've been doing it since he was 2. You know, every night that I have him before I go to bed, I said, what are 3 things that you're grateful for? And he looks around his room and, you know, sometimes he'll say, you know, his fish, his stuffed animals, his sword, whatever it is. But he's practicing that act of gratitude, being great. Because I say to him all the time, listen, bud, you got a room with a lot of good stuff in it. And there's a lot of kids running around that wish they had what you did. So be grateful for everything that you have. So No matter how much or how little you have, there's always something to be grateful for. Your voice, your hearing, your eyes, your sense, the fact that you can smell and taste and love and touch and hug and live and breathe. Those things sound so small, but they're the most important things in our lives, because without our breath, without our heart, without anything, there's no life.
That's true.
Any last words before we close out tonight?
No, I mean, I think it was really cool just because everything in this book, you know, The Science of Getting Rich, you can really apply to all areas of your life. And I know we like to talk about relationship stuff on Sunday nights, and which I thought was really cool. So hope you guys enjoyed it.
So just to go back through really quickly, just to run through before we go. Number one, thoughts and actions create success. Live in a life where you're creating, not competing. Guard your thoughts from negativity. Abundance is absolutely limitless. Do not half-ass anything. Do things to the fullest potential. Never worry about how you will overcome the obstacles. Just go and overcome them. When life, hold on, this is a big one. When life knocks you around, it's getting you back on your path because you didn't ask something big enough. And finally, live life with a full heart, mind, body, and soul of gratitude. So we love our little Sunday conversations. I forgot. Shit, did you want to talk about something? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We're going to have our little Sunday convo. So we know it's late. We just really want to thank all of you guys for staying on here. We want to take this information, we want to pour it into you guys, because life is amazing if you choose to see it that way. We all have the same pair of lenses to look through every single day if you choose to look through them. Look through the positive ones, the ones that you see all the love, the light, the laughter in everything that you do every single day. And trust me, everything in your life will get better. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.